the cows come home. You give me a woman that feels good in her body and she will be unstoppable and she will go for her dreams. I want to share with you, and I'm going to go deeper into food today because I've had so many questionnaires that we sent out when you join this challenge. And so many of the women said that they want to know how to eat. It was really fascinating. They really want to learn how to eat, whether they want to lose weight, whether they want more energy, whether they just want to improve their health, going through menopause, perimenopause, just honestly, I mean, it was fascinating, but I just got the question over and over. Melissa, can you teach me how to eat? I want to eat for energy. I want to learn how to eat to feel better in my body. I want to learn how to eat. So, I am a nutritionist and I do specialize in this. So let's get into it. If you also want to know, when you do join the challenge, we have a private Facebook group. I've been doing some extra reels and different things and some of my go-to meals and things that support that. As at 47, these are things that, that I do. I eat clean. I'm going to talk about that. But today is really about food. Yesterday we talked about, well, you guys can go watch day 1, watch day 2, watch day 3. They all stack upon each other. And I'm also going to share with you guys this weekend some things that we want to do for some instant results that are going to make you feel, we love a good instant result. But today we want to talk about food. So, so far what we've done is we talked about goals, we talked about habits, we talked about how to set up your morning for success. We talked about how to program yourself and really get you connected back to you. We also talked about how to think about food and how to think about moving your body and connecting with your body. Everything that I teach is holistic. I will always tie in different things around reprogramming the mind, body, soul, spirit. In everything that I do, it's who I be. So that will be connected as a thread through everything. But please let me know who you are. Let me know what your number one goal is and why you're here and what you're wanting to achieve in the next 30 days. On day 1, I went through exactly how to get clear on that and how to commit to it. Commitment is the name of the game. We also talked about commitment yesterday. You are the commitments that you make to yourself. If you don't remind yourself of what those commitments are each day, it is very easy to lose sight of them, to not have discipline, and to never achieve them. Commitment is the commitments you make to yourself. Nothing feels worse than when we break them. So this is you showing up for you. All right. So definitely make sure to join. The link is below to register for the challenge. If you have not already, we will be going until the middle of July, lady loves, right before I leave for my trip. So here is the other thing that I want to tell you. When we're talking about food, and I'm going to break this down. I know that some of you just want to be healthy, and I know that others of you have a deep connection with food. And I know that I did as well. So I want this to speak to you and speak to all of you in what you're wanting to be guided to. So I'm going to break this video. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it shorter so that, it can actually make sense to you and you don't feel overwhelmed. Food is fuel. It's meant to be energy. The way that I look at my body as my bank account, I want to give it its biggest bang for my buck. I want to look at how I'm eating and my plate. I want it to be satisfying. I want it to give me energy. I want to age backwards. I also want it to support in my vanity, like my own goals of I want beautiful hair. Like this is all my hair. I want glowing skin. I don't want to have to wear like a lot of makeup to feel good. I really don't wear a lot of makeup. Like right now I have some little dewy stick. I'll show you what I do. And some mascara on, and my e.l.f. Whoa Glow sunscreen. Like that's what I have on my skin right now. And I don't want to have a big complex routine. I eat to age backwards. I eat. My mother passed away with dementia, Alzheimer's. I eat for brain health. I eat because food is either medicine or poison. And here's another fascinating thing that I want you to know. Did you ever notice that when you eat crappy food, junk food, you start to think pretty negative thoughts and you lose your energy, your motivation, your momentum, And all of a sudden you find yourself not only thinking crappy thoughts, but doing crappy things. And yes, this is my professional words here, but just notice it. Notice what happens when you eat a lot of sugar or you eat what I call dead foods. Dead foods are foods that live in bags and boxes, and you could go away for a year and come back and you could still consume them. You could even go away for multiple years. Dead foods aren't actually, they have no life force. They're not giving you anything. Really think about it. There's no, there's no chlorophyll, there's no vitamins, there's no nutrients. It's not serving you. So when I get asked, Melissa, how do I eat? Start looking at, and is in my day, 80% of what I'm consuming, is it real whole foods? Is it real? Is it live? Is it living? Is it giving me energy? And I also think about, where are those foods being fed and getting their energy from? In the United States alone, dairy, they found 46 unidentified hormones in last year alone. So when we're looking at the rise in infertility, autoimmune, and thyroid dysfunction, especially within women, we have to look at what we're ingesting. So it makes sense. And I understand inflation prices. I get asked that all the time. I've done, videos where I've gone into the dollar store and looked at, like, this is what I would buy as a nutritionist for healthy food. But I want you to understand too, put emphasis on quality and think about where you're getting your things from and how animals and whatnot are being treated, what they're being fed, and pay attention to how it makes you feel. One of the primary things that I teach, no matter what I'm teaching, this is just Health 101, and any program that you do with me, whether it's reinvention and transformational work and identity shifting, I always start with the body, because it fuels how you feel about you. It also fuels your own connection to divinity, to your intuition. When we are blocked with chemicals and toxins and sugar and overloaded, just think about, you have brain fog. You definitely aren't feeling inspired. You're not, right? And so we want to think about, I'm going to go back to the basic principle, write down food is fuel. And then look at, how many things am I eating have life force, are colorful, have energy to them, that would die if they weren't in a refrigerator, essentially, guys. If you go into my kitchen, which I will bring you guys into my kitchen, you will see I don't have things in bags and boxes. Like, yes, I will have some canned beans and some oatmeal and things of that nature. But generally, when I'm going to eat, I am eating food, real food. And it doesn't mean that I don't have bread, and it doesn't mean that I don't have, I love sweets. I like food. I eat food that, honestly, every time people are out eating with me, they're going, I wish I ordered what you did. I wish I had what you did. Wow, Mel, I took care of my father. He had gallbladder surgery, and I made him his meals, right? And he was like, wow, Mel, this is fantastic. And I'm like, I've showed you guys what I do. I made him my protein pancakes. I made him my egg sandwich. I made him my big salads. I made him soups. Like I'm baking muffins. I'm like, but it's food. I'm intentional in what I'm putting into my body. So when you're looking for energy, if you're noticing that, you want to release weight, let's just go into a few key principles in educating yourself, because we often educate ourselves everywhere else. Please get measuring spoons, get measuring cups, know how much cereal you're having in a bowl, know how much oatmeal you're using. That's another one that I can say, I don't know why this keeps getting unbuttoned. Excuse you. But that's another one. I'll see people they're like, when we're looking at just feeling healthy and releasing weight, they're not actually aware of how much they're eating. And our stomach is the size of a fist. It can expand the width of 8 baseballs. Did you ever notice when you get sick or something and you can't eat as much, you lose your appetite? But then you go back to eat the normal breakfast that you were just eating a week ago, and you're like, I'm full after half, because your stomach expands the width of 8 baseballs. It gets used to the expansion. So when you start feeding it less, it goes down. You guys, this is as big as your stomach. The fist, that's it. So when you're looking at your plate of food, where's it all going? Where's it going? It's too much, especially when you're going and getting a second serving and a third. When you go to other countries, I hear this all the time as somebody that has lived abroad. And they're like, I don't know, I was releasing weight. Like I lost weight, but I was eating all this stuff. It's like, yes, they don't have toxins and chemicals in their food. It is not processed. You cannot, if you bring a box of Trix cereal from the United States and you compare it with one in Paris or in Italy, it will not have the same ingredients. Why? Because it is not permitted in those countries because it's toxic. They are not in those countries. They cannot have food dyes because the food dyes have been linked to hyperactivity in children, ADD, dyslexia, dementia in massive, like huge, weight gain, diabetes. I mean, I can go on with this. If you like, it is not permitted. The dyes in our country, in Gatorade, in sugar cereals, in so many colored foods are not permitted in other countries because it is disastrous to our health. It's so, and when you go to other countries, they're having normal portions. Do you know our plate size has grown 30% from 1960? Our plates, when you used to get a dinner plate and sit down, I'm sorry, in 1950, your plate was this big. Our plates are now this big. And what do you think happens when your plate's that big? So are your portions. So even when I would teach in our globally recognized, I'm so proud of that program, Weight Loss for Life, Love Your Body, Lose the Weight, I would tell my clients, I'm like, go and get smaller plates, even just for yourself. Just go and get a set for yourself. Go and get smaller plates, right? Make it easier. And then fill up the bowl 2 and 3 times, or just start eating your oatmeal or other things out of a coffee cup. You will be amazed. One, just giving your body time to digest, you don't need as much. So where am I going with this? Look at your portions, make your food colorful, make it life-giving, understand that your body will eat in proportion to what it needs. Food is fuel. You only need to get from point A to point B, not from point A to I'm not going to eat again. I'm going to be stranded on an island and I need to sufficiently eat enough food to support myself. You're good. Your body has enough fat stores, I promise you. And so I would always be asked too, well, Melissa, I'm worried. Am I going to wreck my metabolism if I wake up and work out without? No, your body is fine. I promise you, you're not going to starve. So it's just our programming, okay? And I don't mean to make light of it. I totally get it. I'm half Italian, half Irish. My entire upbringing, I ate carbs, like massive amounts. I ate bowls of pasta the size of my head, like my brothers that were, soccer players. It's so let's go into food. So we want to go into life-giving. Here's the key for women over 40 and honestly over 35. You want to front load protein. You want to have 1 gram of protein for every pound of body fat. That is for health. And for those of you that want to lose weight, you need protein. Protein keeps you fuller longer. It staves off cravings. It gives you the focused energy. It supports in weight loss and weight maintenance. Women are devoid of protein. They fill up on salads. They fill up on fruit. They fill up on the bread basket. But they don't have enough protein. So front load protein and eat your protein first. A great example of this for breakfast would be 1 egg. You don't need a 3-egg omelet. 1 egg, one egg, by the way, is, and I was sharing this with Kathy in our Facebook group for this challenge. Get in there, get involved, guys. You can ask me questions in there. I'm posting other videos in there. Get in there and make sure to subscribe to this channel so you get notified when I go live, because I also post other content on here and our shorts and things that are supporting you while you're in this challenge, I promise you. So she asked, well, what do I do if I don't need to lose weight, but I want to have more energy? I actually find, she's running around, she's got so much going on that, she wants to make sure she's eating enough and eating the right foods. And I said, an egg is the most complete food in all the food that we have. I mean, it's complete. It's complete. It's got the perfect amount of protein and healthy fats to fuel your brain. It has everything that you need. So I say 1 egg, and then bulk it up with more protein with half a cup of egg whites. Add in whatever veggies, add in whatever else you want. Top it off with avocado, put it on a piece of, toast. Have some berries. Berries are high in antioxidants. They keep you, they have higher amount of fiber. They're less in sugar. They support in not only your metabolism, but in glowing skin. They're everything age beautifying, but they're also really great for the brain. Blackberries, blueberries, fantastic for the brain and for brain health. I promise you. Seeds, black grapes, red grapes with seeds, fantastic for the brain, fantastic for your skin, fantastic for your body. So we want to look at foods and understand that they're going to support us, right? And we want healthy amounts of fat. But guys, we've gotten a little carried away. I very rarely have come across a woman that, yes, she may have used keto. First off, I'm not a proponent of diets. I want to be able to eat what I want. I don't want to be strapped to I can only have these macros. I can only eat this. This is the way. I'm carnivore diet. I'm this. I'm not saying that they don't work. By all means, to each his own. You do you, boo. But in all my years of trying all the diets and doing all the things, I wanted to be able to travel where I wanted, to be able to go on a moment's notice, to be able to be bikini, bathing suit ready year round. And I wanted to be able to eat real food and not be some fanatic that needs to only bring my food when I go there and it's in a baggie. And yes, I do have a cooler bag and I will make foods because I like making food and I know what's in it. I'm sorry, but in restaurants, you don't know what they're putting in your food. You don't know how much they're giving you. You don't know what you're cooking it in. I will never forget when I gone vegetarian and I'm in this gorgeous steakhouse. It was a client thing. I used to be a fashion designer. I would travel all over, whatever. We used to be a fashion designer in New York, sitting with clients. And I told her, I was like, oh, I'm vegetarian. And this was back in the day. And she was, and I said oh, I'll get the Brussels sprouts and the side of veggies. And she's like, well, you don't want those because we cook those in pork belly fat, right? Because that's why they taste so good in the restaurant, especially when you're at steakhouses and Italian restaurants. They're just putting these things on the same skillet that is being cooked with all the meat, and you're getting all that fat and that salt and that juice and that taste. So that's fine and dandy and great, but it's really hard to know why you're not losing weight or why you feel super puffy the next day when we're always eating out. But getting back to why without diets and the fat and where I was going with that is I didn't want to have to be a slave to that. And what I found is just subscribing to eating clean. Eating clean means I eat whole, real foods closest to their natural state. And what I found with that is it naturally cuts out chemicals and sugar and all these laden sauces and other things because I'm eating real food. And when you do that, you don't have to be in second guessing. And then you eat your protein first, and then you move to your vegetables because, again, biggest bang for your buck, right? And then you go to whatever carbs you have, right? I love sweet potatoes. My God, love them. But when we eat in that way, you fill up on the stuff that's building the building block that you're needing, right? As women, especially 40, and those of you in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, we need the protein. We need it for our bones. We need it for our muscles, okay? And so where I was going with keto and healthy fats is I very rarely have found a woman where keto is not meant long-term. So it can support you in releasing weight at first. I personally, I couldn't do that. My body does not need that much fat. And I find that women honestly really don't need nearly as much fat as they think they do. And anything that doesn't get burned off as energy gets stored as additional fat in the body. It's the same thing with sugar, right? So eat your fruits last at the end of the meal, not first, so that your glucose levels stay stable and you're not spiking your insulin, right? Also, another key here, we don't want to eat fat before we go and work out, especially if you're wanting to lose fat. Because what does fat do? It slows your digestion, right? and it keeps you fuller longer. Well, if you go and eat a piece of toast with avocado and you go and work out, there's no protein. You just had sugar on top of fat. Bread, whole wheat bread, has 3 tablespoons of sugar in it. 3 tablespoons, 1 slice. That's a lot. That's a lot of sugar. So really, we want to look at that. So what are the breads that I do like? I like carbonate bread. It has no carbs in it. It's actually made with cassava flour. The other one that I say is hero bread. The other one that's great is Ezekiel. The other one that's great is Dave's. Those are the ones that I would really say to go for. Any of Dave's, like the 60, 70 calorie. Why? Just because, again, I'd rather you have real whole foods. But it doesn't mean not to have bread. There's also all these viral things online. You could make cottage cheese bread. You can put cottage cheese in a blender with 1 egg, add some everything but the bagel seasoning, put some wax paper down, spray it, put it in the oven, 425 for 30 minutes, and you have a full protein wrap. People are doing that. There's so many different things online. You can do the pickle bread. You can do the zucchini bread, where it's literally just laying down, you dry the thinly sliced pickles, and then you add on a little cheese. For those of you that are vegan, you do a little veggie cheese, you add some spices, you put it on your wax paper, you put it in the oven. Again, you take it out, you can use it as a wrap. There's so many different things. Egg life wraps, I love those. That's just pure egg whites. They have them in all different flavors. They have everything but the bagel. They have Southwest. They have herb and something, and they have plain. You can put peanut butter on them. You can roll them up. You can put turkey inside them. You can do avocado wraps and put eggs inside and have an egg wrap on top of egg. There are so many different things now, and really no excuse to not really choose you and choose healthy foods that serve you. And when you start thinking of food as fuel, you're looking at, what is my biggest bang for my buck? How can I make this taste delicious? And that's when I love seasonings and sauces, and I use mustard all the time. And there's this great relish mustard that I love from Trader Joe's, and like other things of that nature. So start thinking in a smart way. Start thinking about what's going to serve me more, a bowl of cereal for breakfast, or I can literally crack an egg, whisk it up with half a cup of egg whites, get 35 grams of protein, put it in the microwave with some seasoning. That's going to be done in 3 minutes. And then I'm going to put a piece of toast in the oven or in the toaster. I'm going to put a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of avocado, put the egg on top, cut it in 4, top it with salsa, have some fruit. And if I'm still hungry, then I can make a matcha latte. There's so many other things, but you could have that, or you could have 2 cups of cereal. And that is nothing but sugar, no nutritional value, and you've actually eaten more calories. Which one would you rather have, right? So we start thinking that way. And I want you to think of food that way and understand that food impacts your mood. What you eat first thing in the morning is going to give you energy. If you eat sugar first thing in the morning, you will crave sugar throughout the day. Why do you think we always see, like coffee in a donut shop? You will want sugar throughout the day. Really understand that. And having toast, there's no nutritional value. It's a dead food. It's just like having a bowl of cereal. If you're going to have oatmeal, then add Greek yogurt to it for protein. 1 Greek yogurt, and I'm talking like a plain Greek yogurt, has 20 grams of protein. Or cottage cheese in the morning. Or again, making eggs or adding a scoop of protein powder to a 1/4 cup of oatmeal. Add in some almond milk and you have this beautiful bowl of oatmeal. Put some berries on top, call it a day. It's delicious. It's literally like a vanilla pudding in the morning. It's fantastic. But that has protein. I don't know. That's so annoying when people call in and that it freezes me. I don't know why they could call. Okay, so are you guys understanding food? Ask me any questions here and any ideas that you need, but really understand food. I also talked about this one yesterday. Please stop getting lattes and all of these barista blends. They're just filled with sugar and excess fat and calories. I'm talking to the girls that want to release weight here. Oat milk is not a healthy food. They feed oats to horses to get fat. Really understand, how does it make sense that oat milk, drinking a starch, is going to support in any health goal? It doesn't. It does not make sense. It is a marketing ploy. It does not make sense. Really, understand that. Granola is not a health food. If you are eating it, measure it. Really understand. It's the same thing. Like, we just want to think about these things. Acai bowls, it is just a healthier version of a dessert, right? So we want to be smart about the things that we're doing. Baked veggie straws, that's not it's not a healthy food. Just go and have some chips. Like we want to think about the things that we're doing, but really looking at them and understanding that something that is vegan or something that is gluten-free does not mean it doesn't have calories or fat. Oftentimes it has more, right? And so we just want to think about how we're eating and what we're doing. Again, you just need to be fueled. A good breakfast should keep you full for 3 hours with focused energy and attention, right? It should. And I always tell people, allow your body to eliminate food before you're putting food on top of it. Often people just eat breakfast when they're not even hungry, but because they're programmed to. Wait and start to learn what your body is wanting. Start to understand what your actual needs are throughout the day. When I do this when I would run our Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program, and we would do it live, we would do an experiment and I would tell everybody for 1 week, I want you to, and you guys can get that program. I know some of you were asking me about it. We have it. I'll put a link below for it if that's something that you're wanting to go deeper into this. It's fantastic. It's what I did. We've had thousands go through it. But aside from that, what I want to tell you is, and you can see all the testimonials there. If you guys have questions about it, just let me know. But in essence, start paying attention to when you're actually hungry and write it down. And start waiting till you're actually hungry. Many, I find, just eat something on their first tinge of hunger. They grab the protein bar that's in their bag or the granola bar or what's on hand. They're snacking in between. They're taking care of their kids and they're just throwing stuff in their mouths and they're not actually realizing how much they're eating. It's really fascinating to test yourself for a week, to just not even test, but connect to yourself and go, am I hungry right now? I'm actually going to wait to have my first meal until I'm actually hungry. And if you're waking up and you're not hungry, then most likely you ate too late and you ate too much. Because after an 8-hour window, ideally, of fasting or more, you should wake up hungry and you should have a morning elimination. And if you're not, then we want to look at what you either ate too much the night before or you ate too late. And if you're not having a morning elimination, definitely add magnesium. If you're not taking it, women are deficient in magnesium after the age of 35. My full script link is below. We'll put that here as well, where you can get medicinal grade supplements direct from the supplier for when you first sign up for 25% off and free shipping. I just wherever you get your magnesium from, please get a good one. I love Thorne Pure Encapsulations, but please don't order it off Amazon. You really don't know who you're getting it from unless you're getting it direct from the company. Life Extension's another one. There's a lot of different magnesiums. You can get a blend. Magnesium citrate usually helps if you struggle with constipation. Magnesium glycinate helps if you struggle with sleep, but a good combination will support not only in sleep, but in that morning elimination. And I say the morning elimination because your body just detoxed all night. So you don't just want to put more food on top of it, right? The other thing with food that I'm going to tell you is you want to taper and start to notice it's kind of backwards. We make our biggest meal at night and if food is fuel, your biggest meal is at night, but then you just go to sleep and you end up being more sedentary unless you go for a walk, which for those of you that have been in the challenge with me, I was sharing that I started about a year ago to do evening walks. And that's another thing just from, having lived in Europe and what you see, it's so good for digestion. It's a great time to connect with yourself, to connect with your partner, to get the kids involved, or just like I said, time for yourself. And you just go for a walk, it's like an evening meditation to de-stress, get outside. There's no excuse. It's beautiful weather everywhere. And it's just a way to get out of the mundane of just turning on the television or going and finishing work or being inside. And that's a great thing. And the early bird special is your best friend. And what I mean by that is the early bird special. Eat earlier and, make your meals taper throughout the day. You'll notice that your body will require the most fuel for when it needs the most energy. And you're training your body. We're animals by nature, right? So when we start to think that way, then we go, okay. And then I love an early bird special, eating dinner at 5:30, and then you have your whole night and it's not just circulating around food. Now, for those of you that are like, Melissa, I love to do dinners and I go out to dinners all the time and I'm highly social. Fantastic. So, it depends on what your goals are. So then, choose healthier options when you're out. And if you want to eat a snack earlier, so then you have a smaller meal, like I get asked, some of my clients and women in our community that, they're like, I have to do business dinners and we're doing like later nights or like with the kids, like, my partner and I like don't actually get to like sit down to even have anything. And I always say, okay, we'll eat the bulk earlier and then have something smaller later, or make, protein hot cocoa at night, or have like have a protein shake and make it a smoothie bowl. So you feel like you're eating ice cream. Like there's so many healthier options, or have, something that you're looking forward to and make it like, I had my meal earlier and now I'm sitting down. And when we do go out, I'm going to pick something, that maybe an appetizer or something that's like different for me. But it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself. It's just a shift in the focus and it's about educating yourself differently. So I would love to hear from you. There was a lot here. Really start to look at and get clear on when you're actually really hungry and what that looks like. Always ask yourself, do I need to eat all that's in front of me? And look at, is it life-giving food? Does this have a lot of color in it? And do I have protein at this meal? And if not, add it in. And if you're noticing that you're still hungry, add more protein instead of adding, the others. Add more protein and more veggies and then go to the other. And really look at what you're eating and look at your portions. It's fascinating. And you'll see a lot, but most of all, look at the correlation between the foods that you eat and how it impacts your mood and your sleep. Because if it's impacting your thoughts in a negative way, or it's making you tired, or making you feel bloated, or having brain fog shortly thereafter, or you're noticing you're hungry within an hour, then you didn't eat enough and you ate too little, which means you definitely needed more protein and maybe even adding more healthy fats. And what are healthy fats? Healthy fats are avocado, nuts, seeds, chia seeds, oils, but good oils. Not, really looking at good olive oil, good avocado oil, things of that nature, flaxseed oil, eggs, are great healthy fats. And if you're noticing that you're having adult acne, constipation, a lot of bloating, allergies, heavy breathing, I would really want to advise you to take dairy out for 7 days and see if you notice a difference. It's a game changer for most of my clients. And I know that it's like, but everything tastes better with cheese. It's fascinating how much you don't actually miss it once you take it out. And especially once you start to realize how good you feel. I'm not saying you need to take cheese out, but if you did struggle with IBS, any skin issues, any eczema, rosacea, adult acne, again, constipation, heavy bloating, if you haven't been able to release weight in the midsection, if you're having allergies, take out dairy for 7 days, ideally even 14, and see what happens. I think, you should notice a difference. Okay. Ben, I will respond to you later. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I will be live with you tomorrow at 11 if you haven't registered for this challenge yet. The link is below. I love you guys. So excited. We have a lot of time left. Get on it, girl. Commit to you. Go all in and prove to yourself what you're made of. You can do anything, and you can definitely do anything for 30 days, but it comes to you. I'm giving you all I've got. And so I'm asking for the same from you. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 11, and I'll see you in the Facebook group. If you haven't yet joined, definitely head over there. And if you haven't registered for the challenge, now is the time. Remember, the only excuses that exist are the ones that you create, and the only limitations are the ones that you allow. You've got this. You can do this. I'm here for you. Your next level has arrived. You wouldn't be here if it didn't. Bye, guys.